Hi, I'm Gideon from technologyman.com. Drones from big names like DJI start from around £450 or $450 for the Spark. This is a lot of money to pay for something you may not end up using very much. At the other end of the market, there are plenty of cheap drones which tend to be lacking a lot of the features that make the more expensive drones so tempting. The Hubsan H507A drone is around £70 or $70. Hubsan is a well-respected name in drones, and the H507A has a feature list I'd expect to pay a lot more for. It has GPS built in and a 720p camera with a live stream straight to your smartphone using Wi-Fi. There are various flight modes including following, orbit and waypoint modes, features normally reserved for more pricey drones. In fact, for my Parrot Bebop 2 you have to pay half the price of the Hubsan just to activate these features. You use an app on your smartphone to control it rather than a dedicated controller, but for casual use I see this more as an advantage, one less thing to have with you. Hubsan do have a slightly more expensive version of this drone which does come with a Bluetooth controller if you prefer. It all sounds good, so let's take a closer look. The drone comes well packaged with a spare set of blades, a single 550 mAh battery and a USB charging cable. There's also a screwdriver for changing the propellers and 4 propeller guards which could be useful for indoor use. I'd recommend keeping the box for transporting the drone. The drone is well built and doesn't feel cheap. The battery is already inserted, but I'd suggest giving it a full charge which takes around an hour before the first flight. There's a slot for a micro SD card to record videos and photos. Capacities of up to 64GB are supported and a Class 10 speed card is recommended. I'm using an 8GB Class 10 card from Kingston. You'll need to download the free x-hubsan app from the Apple Play Store on your phone to control the drone before you head out. Insert the charged battery and hold the power button for 4 or 5 seconds to turn the drone on. Go to Wi-Fi settings on your smartphone and choose the Hubsan's Wi-Fi network to connect to. Enter 12345678 when prompted. I found this doesn't always work the first time and I often have to re-enter the password at least once. Open the x-hubsan app and choose the H507A drone from the drop-down list and tap Enter Device. Before every flight you'll need to do a calibration of the drone by rotating the drone horizontally and then vertically with the camera pointing downwards. You then need to wait for a GPS fix, which can take some time. By default, the drone won't be able to take off before it's acquired at least 6 satellites. You can turn this setting off, but I wouldn't recommend that for outside use. Since the automatic return function is based on the accuracy of this fix, I prefer to acquire as many satellites as I have the patience for. Even if you turn the setting off, you won't be able to use the various flight modes without acquiring at least 6 satellites anyway. Once you've got your GPS fix, all you need to do is tap the auto takeoff and the drone will ascend to 1 meter or so in height and hold its position without you having to touch the controls. You can then use the 2 virtual joysticks to control it, which only appear when you hold your fingers on the left and right side of the screen. By default, use the left joystick to go up and down and rotate left and right, and the right joystick to go forwards and backwards and bank left and right. You can change this in Settings, Controller, Joystick mode. You can record photos or videos to the micro SD card by tapping the red record button for video and the grey button to take a photo, switching between the 2 modes by tapping the bottom icon. To land the drone, tap the auto land button, or you can tap the return to home button, which will automatically fly the drone back to its takeoff position. I found this to work really well, returning to within a few meters from where it took off. Once it's landed, the motors should automatically cut off. If they don't, you can pull down and outwards on both joysticks to force the motors to shut off, and then you can press and hold the power button to turn the drone completely off. The drone is very stable and requires almost no skill to fly. With a fully charged battery, I did manage to get the quoted 9 minutes of flight time. You'll get a battery warning after a very short time, and the various flight modes that I'll come to shortly aren't available once the battery level drops. Ideally, you'd want a couple of spare batteries. They're not easy to get hold of, in the UK at least. I suppose you could use a supplied USB charger with a power pack, but there's no quick charge and waiting for an hour for the battery to charge isn't very practical. Using my smartphone to control the drone is more than acceptable, although I know it might put some off. The drone ascends and descends quickly, but forward and backward speed is painfully slow if you've flown bigger drones before. Video quality is 720p, so not the full HD or 4K of more expensive drones. The quality is reasonable, but unfortunately there's no image stabilisation. So even with a gentle breeze, the video is far from smooth. Although it's pretty windy in this video and the footage is acceptable. I personally wouldn't bother with the photo mode. It's similar quality to a frame grab from a recorded video and less than 1 megapixel, so you're probably better off just recording a video and grabbing a still from that. Live streaming to your smartphone works surprisingly well and is one of the best features of the drone. It's fairly low resolution and there is some stuttering and lag, but it's good enough. The Wi-Fi link is reliable and I didn't lose the connection even once, although I tried to keep it within 100 meters or so. As well as the standard flight mode, there's Waypoint, following and orbit modes. In Waypoint mode, you can draw a route on the satellite map and the drone will follow this route. Tap on the mode swap button and select Waypoint mode. Draw a route and click Submit. Then take off and click Done to start the set route. You have to work really quickly with the limited battery life. I tried a number of times and only managed once to actually set it off on a simple path. Unfortunately, it was such a windy day, it didn't manage to follow the route anyway. The Follow Me mode is easy to use. Just tap the mode swap button and choose the following mode. It works to some extent, but not well enough for anything particularly useful. It sort of follows me walking slowly across this field, but I tried to get it to follow me mountain biking with little success. The orbit mode probably works best of the 3 flight modes, although it's a bit fussy about where it starts off from. Again, tap mode swap and select orbit. I've been quite impressed with the Hubsan drone, especially when you consider its price. It's easy to fly with one tap takeoff and landing, the live video feed works well, and the built-in GPS with automatic return to home is a feature I'd expect to pay more for. The build quality is a cut above most budget drones I've tried, and the app to configure and control the drone is well thought out. The battery life is disappointing, especially if you're wanting to use the flight modes and particularly the Waypoint mode. The video quality is okay, but without any image stabilization, it's not really going to be useful for that much. But it's a great introduction to drones at an affordable price and a cut above the cheap and nasty toy drones, and it may just give you a taste of something bigger and better. So I hope you found the video useful. Please like and subscribe if you did, it really helps. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thanks very much for watching.